it.
Got the good stuff coming tomorrow. We are live as the Combine officially puts players on the field, and you will be there at 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Your presence is demanded for the running backs, the O-linemen, and the special teams. And then on Saturday, the quarterbacks get going. We're going all
running backs, offensive line, special teams, quarterback, receiver, and defensive.
On-field drills and comprehensive coverage of the 2018 Scouting Combine. You see that group that's working out tomorrow? They are doing the bench press today, including Quentin Nelson, who is the #1 guard on Mike Mayock's, and for that matter, nearly everybody's list from Notre Dame. 35 reps for Quentin Nelson. That is unofficial. We'll get the official numbers a little bit later, but a little perspective. Last year, the guards averaged 26 reps. So, Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame blowing that away. His team Lynchy went earlier. The tackle at 6'7" with long arms.
Damn! Like a beastie, bro!
For Quentin Nelson. Max says he could be a top 5 pick. Has the talent certainly to be there. Maybe with Saquon Barkley as one of the
that nigga
picks in this draft.
God, man, I love football. I just love everything about football, bro.
Rivers hat. We'll hear from his head coach Anthony Lynn with us on Up to the Minute.
Like, football is just a man's sport. Like, it just screams man. Like, it's a manly sport, bro. Like, football is as manly as you can get and still be art and still look like a work of art and finesse.
Biggest name, best player out there. This is the one that they are lining up for. He's their guy.
Free Agency Frenzy starts Monday, March 12th, only on NFL Network.
How do you chase what you love with moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis? Do what I
Anybody that plays football can play any other sport.
It's proven to help relieve pain and
that's facts.
from further irreversible damage.
Anybody that can play football can play any other sport.
And helping to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to RA symptoms. Humira has been clinically studied for over 20 years.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB. Hepatitis B are prone to infections or have flu-like symptoms.
Quentin Nelson knows.
Ready for
that nigga knows he's the shit, bro.
Yeah, growing up the youngest, it definitely shaped me. Just getting picked on by being the little, I guess the little guy in the family at the time. And I love my family, and they've definitely shaped me into the person I am today and player.
What kind of teammate is Mike McGlinchey?
Mike McGlinchey is a great teammate. Always trying to help everyone on the offensive line get better. Not self-centered at all. Works very hard, and sets a great example of how things should be done. And he's a 2-time captain and leads very, very well. And plays very well.
Quentin, over the years, it's very unique that your guards talked about in the top 5 picks in the draft, yet a lot of people talk about you that way. Why should you be talked about in that regard?
I think I should be talked in that regard, the top 5 conversation, because you have guys that are dominating the NFL right now, and Aaron Donald, Geno Atkins, Fletcher Cox, that have just been working on interior guys, and you need guys to stop them, and I think I'm one of those guys. You talk to quarterbacks, and they say if a DN gets on the edge, that's fine. They can step up into the pocket and make a throw, which a lot of quarterbacks, if given the opportunity, can do that. So that's what I give, is a pocket to step up in. And I think I also help the offense.
Yeah, I noticed that. I didn't mention it, Corey.
Through my nastiness. And establishing the run also opens up the passing game. So that I think it's a good choice.
How much do you really need to sell a team to the top 5, or do you not even think about that?
I don't think about it too much. I let my play do all the talking and my film do all the talking. The question was asked, so I answered it.
You did 35 reps today on the bench?
Yeah. 30.
What do you think of that format now? Before it wasn't in the public, the weightlifting, you guys are all around there. Do you guys enjoy that?
I enjoyed it very much. That was awesome. Being able to cheer everyone on and try to help guys get extra reps. And having people doing that for me too when I was up there was awesome. And it was a great atmosphere.
Like his attitude, he got a very good vibe.
Yeah, I definitely consider myself a Jersey guy. Zach Martin is an awesome guy. I never got the opportunity to play with him, unfortunately. I wish I could, so I could learn so much from him, but he's come to campus a bunch of times and has helped out all the younger guys, and I've been able to build a relationship with him through that, and I've got a great relationship with him, and I'm really fortunate that he's such a great guy and great player that could teach me so much and be a friend, the guy that I could talk to and call whenever in any type of process before the combine or going into rookie camp. He's just that type of guy, and I really appreciate him.
Dick Tobin said that he thinks he can play all 5 spots up front. How much practice experience at Notre Dame did you get playing other spots?
Well, high school, I played tackle my whole career.
It's time for us to move on. Get some continuity there, quarterback.
Damn. Time to move on, nigga.
Vikings to move on as well from Case Keenum. Led them to 12 wins. Led them to an NFC championship game in Philadelphia. However, he could be walking via free agency, and Mike Zimmer knows he and Rick Spielman have to get the quarterback decision right. Philadelphia. However, he could be... Matter of fact, he says if they don't get it right, he might be fired. Ian Rappaport joins us back now near the bench press area. If you're screaming and yelling, it's people lifting 225 flat on their back behind him. Ian, let's talk about the bench press because we might have an injury over there earlier today, and it might be from a guy who could have been a first-round pick, Billy Price out of Ohio State. What do we know?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, one of the top offensive linemen in this draft, someone Mike Mayock is listed in his top 5, suffered an apparent injury just behind me a couple minutes ago while going through his bench press. This was about 3 or 4 reps into his attempt there, lifting 225 in front of this big crowd here. Stopped, seemed to be in considerable pain, grabbed his left upper arm or shoulder area, then went behind the curtains as the medical personnel right here checked him out. Clearly, he's going to have more tests as they try to figure out what actually happened, but obviously, this is something that nobody wants to happen. A
Oh my gosh.
Injury in a combine drill, and for one of the top players at his position, throws this entire process now in flux.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Wish the best to Billy Price. He's projected, as you said, near the top of the center class, probably somewhere in the 20s. Remember Fabian Moreau, the UCLA corner, hurt actually doing the bench press, if memory serves, last year at UCLA Pro Day. He still ended up a second-day pick. All right, let's move on here to a former Billy Price teammate, Joey Bosa, with the Chargers. Ian, you're reporting he had some off-season surgery.
Yeah, this is something that the team confirmed to us, and really not a surprise. He had surgery to
What
repair
the hell, man? Bosa just...
that was an issue for him really over the last couple of years, and Bosa's a tough dude. He got through it, made sure it wasn't a big issue, but it was clearly something that bothered him, and finally took the time and took the opportunity this offseason to repair the finger. Would not expect it to be an issue going forward. Really something...
Bro, Joey Bosa just looks so...
Yeah, you got
easy. Like, what he does, it doesn't even look hard. Like, Joey Bosa makes it look like anybody can go out there and play defensive end. Can't stand that.
Chargers won in San Diego, won in Los Angeles. Thank you, Ian Rappaport. Right. The story that everybody was talking about earlier today here in Indianapolis, out of Buffalo, where Jim Kelly and the Bills announced today that The cancer is back. It is oral cancer. Jim Kelly thought he had beaten that cancer. He was well on the road to recovery. First diagnosed back in November of 2013, but he said today that the battle is on yet again. And everyone here in Indianapolis just stunned to hear that news after we all saw Jim Kelly in Minneapolis a couple of weeks ago.
You knew it was coming back, though. Cancer, man. Cancer, that thing be coming back, bro. No one beats cancer. You beat it, and it's like, yeah, it'll come back in a couple years. I'll be back, nigga.
Jim Kelly says, "No, that God is with me. I continuously talk about the 4 F's: faith, family, friends, and fans. Staying Kelly tough and trusting God will carry us throughout this difficult time. His family always by his side. So much of part of his recovery and this inspirational story. Continuously talk about this difficult time. His family always by his side. So much of part of his recovery and this inspirational story. Continuously talk about this difficult time. His family always by his side. So much. Jim Kelly.
First down! Ball is loose. We got it back.
Jim Kelly will beat cancer again. Jim, from all of us here at the NFL Media Group, for all of us at RTP, we know you're going to beat it again. You've always been a winner, and this one will be no different. Our best wishes, Jim, to you and your family on this road. Here in Indianapolis, we are hearing from Anthony Lynn for the first time since his
the viral video that ruined an All-Stars NBA career. When players are drafted into the NBA, they usually have a few goals to aim for, which consists of playing to the best of their ability, helping their team win, have a long and healthy career, which includes avoiding injuries as much as possible, and perhaps more importantly, make sure they do not run into trouble, like being in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. And for the most part, that's exactly what Josh Howard did, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to avoid a few controversial moments in his NBA career. Let's take it all the way back to the very beginning. Josh Howard chose to sign with Wake Forest in 1999, where he carved out a very productive college career, averaging 19.5 points per game, 18.3 rebounds per game, 2.1 assists per game, and 1.5 blocks per game, including being selected as the ACC Player of the Year. Entering the 2003 NBA Draft, Josh Howard was projected to be a mid to late first-round pick, which is exactly what happened as the Dallas Mavericks selected him 29th overall in the first round. The same draft that included LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. So he definitely had some competition and needed to work hard if he wanted to stand out in his rookie class. He had a pretty average rookie season due to his average stat line, but he did earn himself a spot on the NBA All-Rookie second team. In his second season, Howard continued to come off the bench, only playing in garbage time. But when his teammate Marquise Daniels went down with an injury, Howard was granted his spot in the starting lineup, where his numbers began to increase due to more playing time. Now, nobody really wants to see a fellow teammate go down, but that was probably the best thing that could have happened to Josh, because the opportunity allowed him to average a career high in scoring and to become a very important piece on the Dallas Mavericks. The following season, his career, along with the Dallas Mavericks, were rolling. Josh Howard was a vital part in the Mavs' run to the finals, where they were undefeated every time Howard scored at least 20 points or more. They finally reached the NBA Finals in 2006, where they quickly went up 2-0 in the series against the Miami Heat. It looked like Dallas was on the way to becoming eventual champions, but suddenly they took their foot off the gas, and at the same time, the combination of a young and athletic D. Wade, along with the still very dominant Shaquille O'Neal, went on to win 4 consecutive games and claimed the Larry O'Brien Trophy. The Mavericks were understandably heartbroken by the loss, but the very next season, it seemed like they were on a mission to reach the finals once again and take what they believe is theirs. During that 06-07 season, the Mavericks won a season-best 67 games, and although Dirk Nowitzki was the one to win the regular season MVP award, many believe they wouldn't have won that many games without Josh Howard's 18.9 points per game that season, which also earned him a spot on the All-Star team that year in Las Vegas. The Mavericks were looking like the team to beat in the playoffs, but we all know what happened that year in the postseason, as the 8th seed Golden State Warriors upsetted the Mavs in the first round, and they were embarrassed once again as their incredible season ended prematurely. The following postseason was more of the same, with yet another disappointment as they ran into Chris Paul and the New Orleans Hornets in the first round. Although Josh Howard was contributing nicely to his team on the court, his off-the-court actions didn't help his team at all. In the middle of the first-round series against New Orleans, Josh Howard decided to make an appearance on the Michael Irvin's radio show right before Game 3 of the series, and he would go on to admit that he smokes marijuana. That statement made people around the team scratch their heads with confusion, especially the owner Mark Cuban and head coach Avery Johnson, because they didn't quite understand the timing of the situation. They were confused on why Josh Howard would openly admit that he smoked weed right in the middle of a playoff series, and predictably, Howard's comments caused a major distraction around the team and were eliminated shortly after by the Hornets. Eventually, the situation blew over and was forgotten about. However, just a few months later, Josh Howard found himself participating in yet another controversy. This time, it was something that would ruin his reputation and perhaps his career. In 2008, a video was leaked on YouTube of Josh at a charity football game. The Star Spangled Banner was playing in the back, and Howard says, he claimed that he was just joking around amongst his friends, but it was too late. The video went viral, and he was hit with heated and angry reactions all over the sports world, and he lost many fans in the process. Mark Cuban came to Howard's defense by saying, "He's a great guy with a good heart who happened to make a mistake." But still, followers of the NBA were beginning to develop a negative image of Howard. Eventually, the organization realized that things were not working out with Josh Howard and ended up trading him to the Washington Wizards in 2010. He said he wished he could have finished his career in Dallas, but understands that he needed a fresh start somewhere else.
I listened to that for what?
Understands that he needed a fresh start somewhere else.
But then you look at the franchise history. Under different leadership, remember they brought in Rivers when they already had Drew Brees.
Well, I live in Kansas City. I look at what the Chiefs have been doing with Patrick Mahomes. They're basically tearing up their offense and their defense and starting over again. I think teams have to start looking down the road for life after Tom Brady, life after Ben Roethlisberger. Look
Drew
at
Brees.
the AFC South with Marcus Mariota and Deshaun Watson and Andrew Luck. Look at this division with Derek Carr. The Broncos are going to get a quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. If the Chargers want to be players, they're not going to win a championship this year. Let's be honest. They're not good enough to do that. But if they want to be players down the road, when Brady's gone, Roethlisberger's gone, better get the QB right.
You better hope that Anthony Lynn's not in your list. Yeah, I was going to say. Declared him dead in the championship chase. The Chargers will not win the Super Bowl.
I will go ahead. Here's the counter argument to that. They won 9 out of their last 12 games last year. And 2 guys they were counting on. Their top 2 draft picks. What did they get from them? Mike Williams had 11 catches the whole season, the first-round pick, had a back injury, had a knee injury.
They're lucky he got on the field.
Second-round pick, Forrest Lamp, tore his ACL in August. He was supposed to be a starter on that offensive line. So it's almost as if, take this year's draft class, add 2 high picks to that class, and hope that going forward, you got some of that young talent.
And I know you weren't bearing the Chargers.
Oh, I was. You were.
All right,
I was saying that.
Then I won't tell you. Actually, I will. That 8 of the 12 teams that made the playoffs last year did not make it in 2016. And we always have these numbers, but those numbers are consistent. There is consistent playoff turnover every year. It is the one guarantee that we can all make.
And the Chargers were a team that when I spoke to scouts for other teams, nobody wanted to play them in November and December because they could see them gaining momentum as we got toward the end.
They didn't want to play them in September and October when they were 0-4.
Right. And they didn't have a kicker. I mean, should the answer be there is no kicker worth it at 17 this year? Should the answer just be go get a kicker?
They got plenty of questions about the kicker up there. Tom Telesco said it. Yeah, it didn't work what we did last year. So you really got to evaluate it. They think they've got some in-house options, and potentially you could see something in the draft. Kickers working out today. Guys, they only kicked like 15 times in there, and you can make a big impact on how you're viewed just by putting on a good showing here in Indy.
Well, what he said that I like was he talked about defense and getting that linebacker core figured out. This was a team that ranked 31st in the NFL in rush defense. We can talk all we want to about Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram and come off the edge, but if you're not stopping people up front, you're not going to be a championship team. And so I did like the fact that they talked about trying to improve that area as well.
Yeah, they have to. Because the beginning of that season, as the Chargers moved to Los Angeles, you kind of said, same old Chargers here. They're finding new and creative ways to lose games. Second half of the season, though, Anthony Lynn proved that, yes, he does have this team moving in the right direction, and they are maybe a few pieces away from being real as Father Time starts knocking on, tapping on Philip Rivers' shoulder there. 36-37 in December. How many times did you bench press 225? This is Braden Smith.
35 reps?
35! Unofficial.
I think that's a Kansas City kid, too.
From Auburn.
Wow.
Braden Smith. That looks effortless. I mean, no strain at all. He's barely breathing. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale.
Where's he at now?
Arm's not wavering at all. 35, by the way, was the high last year from Isaac Asiata.
These were the loudest cheers we've heard from the bench press area all day.
It's like he's doing Pilates.
Locking out at the top there and not wavering on the way down. We need to do a red zone channel for bench press. Come on, Braden Smith.
Not even turning red.
No, not even. Not even. He can do
He's got one left every day. This is 35 right here. This is 35 right here.
No, I think we just saw 35.
He gave up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That would have been 36. It's impressive.
Anybody who's watching at the gym, you're not working out hard enough. Keep working out.
I got to work out watching.
Yeah, it's crazy how you're like, it's coming down, but I'm getting it. No, it's all, I can't. No more strength.
And Melissa Stark with John Gruden. And Charlie Casserly will be here. How important is the 40? How important are the on-field drills? What does our GM look for when the players finally get on the field?
Tonight on NFL Total Access, Combine Countdown, 1 day to the drills, the science of finding a franchise quarterback, the best mix for Josh Rosen and Josh Allen, and a case for Saquon Barkley at number 1. Tonight, 7 Eastern.
Hey, salute. Thou hast the catchy beard of a prepubescent squire. Thy armor was forged by a feeble-fingered peasant woman. You mouth!
As long as hecklers love to heckle, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Right now at Burger King, you can get 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and a drink for just $3.49. And you can get 10 chicken nuggets for just $1.69. That's 2 great deals on the King Savings menu. Only at Burger King.
What's cracking? This is the OG Bro.
Handcrafted burgers. Any burger, just $7.99. Now that's even.
Atlanta has selected Brett Favre,
The ultimate hit-or-miss prospect.
Is he the rookie of the year or he's out here?
I was a little bit cocky, but felt like I could back it up.
Who carried Titletown back to glory.
The big footballing trophy is coming home.
I stake my career here on Brett Favre. He didn't let me down.
But cast aside with something left to prove.
How could you not want to show your former team you still can play?
Brett Favre, A Football Life. Tonight at 9. Only on NFL Network.
Need relief from backaches and stiffness in your hips or down your legs? Then you need Dr. Ho's Back Relief Belt, the innovative technology to support and decompress your spine. And now it's covered by Medicare.
Every patient with back pain should be wearing this belt. Nothing gave me instant relief except for the Dr. Ho belt.
Feel good while standing, walking, driving, doing housework, and while laying down. And now Dr. Ho's patented belt is available at our best price ever. It's even covered by Medicare. Order now to get the easy-to-use hand pump and back rehabilitation DVD free.
You know, similar belts can cost you almost $1,000. But my belt won't cost you $500, not $300, not even $200. I will give you my special pity price.
And remember, Dr. Ho's belt is covered by Medicare.
If you know a friend or family member that suffers from pain, give them the system today. Help them live with less pain. For access, get back to do the things they love. Give them the gift of health.
So, Run Rich Run is back. Run like a race, will you please? NFL Network.
Chicago Bears fan from England. What it do? Boat thrower.
Partnership with NFL Play 60. Upload your best 40-yard dash with hashtags RunRichRun or hashtag St. Jude and make a donation to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Rich runs the 40 on NFL Network on Monday, the 5th, here in Indianapolis, and NFL Network is the only place to watch it, and comprehensive combine coverage. We are wall to wall. Do not turn off NFL Network at all this weekend. It's great.
Fastest 40-yard dash, John Ross. Jacoby 4. He didn't do crap.
We are live. It is up to the minute at the 2018 Scouting Combine. A front office view now from the man sitting next to me. It's a close view here. Charlie Casserly. Welcome to Indianapolis, sir.
Great to be with you.
Great to have you here. Let's talk about the overall grade. For those who don't know how draft boards are done, by the time we get to the night of April 26th, you're going to have a grade on every draft-eligible player, guys that you may consider. How does this weekend in Indianapolis affect those grades?
You know, the reason we started the Combine, Andrew, was because of physical. So the two things to me that affected the grade the most coming out of Indianapolis were the physical, because the first time you had it. Does that affect a player on your board? It certainly can affect a player on board. And the 40-yard dash time. Some of these players, the juniors especially, you don't have a 40-yard dash. So you want to find out how fast they are. 90% of a grade, Andrew, is how they play on the tape. But the medical and the 40 time, they're critical too.
And now I know a lot of people say, wait a minute, it's nice to run fast, but Charlie, they're in shorts. Do you really pay that much attention to the 40 when they don't have a helmet on, when there's nobody chasing them, when there's no shoulder pads?
Well, you're right. Now, there's some guys that when you put the pads on, don't run as fast, but you don't have the ability to time all these players with pads. So you have history on what good 40-yard dash times are at certain positions. So there are certain positions you're going to weigh the 40 more than others, and you're going to have certain standards at the positions. For example, a cornerback, if you're playing a two-deep zone, your corners don't have to be as fast. If you're playing man, hey, they got to be able to run. But we call play speed. The term play speed is a scouting term. When you watch the tape, Andrew, you put down a speed which you believe the player is. When he comes to Indy and all of a sudden he runs much faster, wait a minute now. We go back and look at the tape. You know what? It's an artificial time. He's been trained that way. It works the other way, too. If we think a player can run better and he doesn't, that's an eye-opener. We got to pay close attention to that.
It's a big thing to see these guys in person. You've seen the tape. You've seen them against whatever competition they face in college, whatever conference they're in. But then you actually see them on the field, and it's kind of like, okay, well, now, like, I get to see the car actually out on the road as opposed to in the showroom floor. The position drills, Charlie, do you care a lot about how they do in the drills?
Yes.
Well, it's my favorite part of the combine. Obviously, the medical is the most important part. But here's the things on drills. What don't you see in college? The cornerback position. A lot of these corners play press coverage. You don't see them off the ball. You see them in zone. You don't see them in man-to-man drills. In the combine, you see them in man-to-man drills. It gives you an idea, can the player do man-to-man type things? If you're a man team, that's important. Can they run? So now you got the speed in the man-to-man drills. It helps you. Separation by receivers. That's the other position. The most important characteristic of a wide receiver is can he separate? Can he get open? So you get to see them in drills. Quarterbacks, hey, I can stay home for that. Because what are they doing? You can see arm strength and you can see quickness of release. They're indoors. Indoor scouting is deceptive on arm strength. And they're throwing to receivers. They don't know.
The quarterback position comes down to accuracy, decision-making, toughness, leadership, a lot of things that you don't evaluate at the combine.
If this is a perfect time for a promo, you can stay home for that as well. The quarterbacks Quarterbacks are throwing Saturday live on NFL Network. Now, the interview process, Charlie, is a whole other thing. It's kind of like speed dating. The teams get 15 minutes with these players. I mean, quite literally, there's a guy walking up and down the hallway with an air horn with a 2-minute warning. Let's move on. How much can you really get to know somebody in 15 minutes when a lot of the answers now are rehearsed?
You answered your question with the question on speed dating, didn't you?
I've never done the speed dating thing.
Let me ask you a question. Okay? I haven't either. Okay? It didn't exist when I started. Anyway, here's the thing. Is the interview process important? You're darn right it's important. Would you hire somebody for a multi-million-dollar job over 12 to 15 minutes? No. But if you have that period of time, here's what you want to get done. If the player has issues, for example, did he fail a drug test? Was he suspended? It's fact-checking. Check your facts versus his facts, see if they line up. If there's some questions, Andrew, on tape, where you saw some things you weren't sure the quarterback did, pull out those plays. Ask him those questions. There's a chance to get the interview process started. So it's the beginning of the process. It is not the end of the process. It's just the beginning of the process.
Did you ever have one of those crazy or like a go-to favorite? Are you a dog or a cat guy? Like any of those?
Hey, do not get me started on that. Okay?
I just did.
It's 100 years ago I got my master's in psychology and testing. 100 years ago, I knew if those questions were relative. I don't know what the question is relative, okay? There's a lot of dumb questions that are asked. But to me, what you try to do is go back in the player's background. Start with his family values, how he grew up, what was important to him. You're looking for a pattern of a player that's a self-starter. That's the things that I look for.
All right, and the biggest takeaway for you, year in, year out, as a GM of the Combine?
The medicals. That's why we're here. This Combine was started in the early 80s as an efficient way, cost-efficient way to get the medicals. It's the only real way to do that. And then what happened, Andrew, is we had them there, and we said, you know what? Let's do some drills. Then after that, hey, let's interview them. Let's do some psychology. There's a lot of let's do's, which has now grown into a tremendous fact part of your gathering. But again, it's a part of the process. It's part of medicals. That's why we're here.
And let's put it on television.
That's right. You know, I was part of that process, too.
To put it on TV?
Yes, they had to come to the competition committee and ask us for votes. When they came to me, I said, is anybody going to watch this thing? And they said, oh, yeah, they're going to watch it. I said, well, then you have my vote. You know what? Hey, people watch us. They do a great job. We do a great job with it. Watch it. I'm going to.
I can't match that energy. Watch it. 9 a.m. tomorrow. Eastern time. Running backs and O-linemen on the field. Special teamers as well. Thank you, Charlie Casserly.
Good to be with you. Be here.
In front office view. Get to know him. Coming up, get to know John Fruit, the new head coach of your Oakland Raiders, once and future, with Mooch and Melissa next.
It's Golden Corral's Prime Rib and Shrimp Spectacular. Slow roasted prime rib, butterfly shrimp, bone-in catfish, and more. It's time to saddle up. The Prime Rib and Shrimp Spectacular. Just $13.99 every night. Your choice.
The moment you realize your half bath needs your full attention.
At Lowe's, we'll help you turn the bathroom you have into the one you've always wanted.
Get up to 40% off select bath essentials during the Lowe's Bath event.
When you go online, be sure you're getting an actual quote from the General Insurance, not an imitation.
Get your anonymous online quote with low payments now. For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
While our most exhilarating models can be simulated, nothing compares to the real thing. Experience the Command Performance Sales Event for yourself, now through April 2nd. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Yeah, actually, hey, Grandma, let me put you on speakerphone, okay?
Carry out large 3-topping pizzas from Domino's for $7.99 each. And with Domino's new carry-out insurance, we'll replace your pizza if it gets ruined after you leave the store. Just bring it back and we'll remake it for free.
Starting to really want to play Madden now.
Here's to the friends you can always count on.
J'ai encore en mémoire le parfum de l'homme que j'ai rencontré. Il portait haute
J'ai nommé mon chien Old Spice.
Janine, laisse le poulet tranquille.
It makes sense. Gatorade G2, after sugar with all the electrolytes. Made to help you handle the heat and bring the fire. You were made for this, and Gatorade was made to fuel it.
We're about to be crushed by the biggest storm of the century.
From the director of The Fast and Furious.
The treasury's being robbed.
Where is she?
They need me. I'm the only one with the code.
Let's get the money.
The Hurricane Heist. Rated PG-13. Only in theaters March 9.
It's when it works.
I have obstruction settlement and I need cash now. Ain't seven time cash now. I have a annuity, but I need cash now. Ain't seven time cash now.
My daughter was at school. A group of boys were playing truth or dare, and 2 boys were dared to go up to my daughter specifically and call her a nigger, and they were bold enough to do it. You know, my daughter didn't react negatively or violently or
what?
Anyway like that, because that's not what she was raised to do. I raised my kids to diffuse the situation first and go to the teacher or head over whatever's going on at the time. Well, my daughter simply told him that was disrespectful, it's inappropriate, and you better not do it again. She proceeds to go to the head over the school and tell them, well, you would think that they would inform us, but that was not what happened. So yesterday, my daughter was at school, and a group of boys were playing truth or dare, and 2 boys were dared to go up to my daughter specifically and call her a nigger, and they were bold enough to do it.
That's crazy.
That right there alone lets me know that racism is not being taken seriously enough. There's no way, shape, or form where that was handled properly. If something happens to a person's child, you do not say, I'm going to investigate first. You inform the parent first, then you investigate. Because all this stuff is going on and it's going to take place, and we have no idea. My daughter's in pain, she's hurting, and we don't know that none of this is taking place until she tells us, when it's the adult's job to do this. So, I go up to the school to address the situation. I ask, what did the boys say happened? What did Nevaeh say happened? The reason I'm shooting this video, we were informed by my daughter. It wasn't until my wife had to email the head over the school what had happened and why haven't we been informed. The head over the school then proceeds to say, well, I was going to investigate first before letting you know. That right there alone lets me know that racism what's the consequences, what's the punishment? The head over the school proceeds to tell me they're gonna be suspended for 1 day. Okay, here's the problem with that. I have a set of twins that are 3, and one of my twins was sent home, suspended for a full week, a 3-year-old, a full week for having potty bathroom issues. Bathroom issues. You get 3 warnings and then you have to go home for a week. What the boys say happened, what did Nevaeh say happened, and the head over the school informed me that Nevaeh's story was 100% accurate because the boys told it exactly how she did. So it was correct, not fabricated, told exactly how she said it. So I asked, well, what's the consequences, what's the punishment? The head over the school proceeds to tell me they're gonna be suspended for 1 day. And a black girl at this and call her a nigger and they get 1 day. And y'all expect me or want to believe that racism doesn't still exist. These are kids. My daughter loves this school, and now she has to sit in class with these kids knowing that maybe they racist, maybe they not, maybe they just young kids who made a mistake, but she doesn't know anymore. Now she has to deal with it. Not only when my 3-year-olds were suspended, you have to go pick them up immediately. These 2 boys were allowed to stay in school. They don't have to go home until the next day. And when I brought this to the administrator's attention, the administrator proceeds to tell me, "Sir, that's apples and oranges." How does that compare? That's the type of society we live in where racism is not being taken seriously, and it's not the racism is the problem, it's how it's being dealt with. It's not being taken seriously. The issues we have in this society are not being taken seriously, and people are brushing racism under the rug like it don't still exist. These are kids. My daughter loves this school, and now she has to sit in class with these kids. It's not about the suspension. This is about bringing awareness to the fact that this is what we deal with in society. It does exist.
That's crazy. It's jacked up. All right, moving on. Everywhere, sheesh. Nigga 6'9" is everywhere, bro. Is that Carlos? Oh no. I don't know that nigga. Look like Carlos, bro.
Here, guy, how come?
No, well, I turned on Twitter one day and they were all killing me, so I said, I'm gonna come and get rid of that. I don't like that. Then it turned out one of those other things, they were all ripping me on that, so it's been a bad experience.
All right, welcome back to the league, man.
I'm coming back to my bocce ball.
Bocce ball.
Wow, the Owen is on the sending back to the Delta. I see the sauce, man. I see the whip, man. These niggas broke, man. They flex, strip off, man. I know it, man. Patrick Mahomes' team. Here's GM Brett Veach.
No, I think it's more of a plan and a vision, and really putting the quarterback in a position to succeed. I think we had a plan for Patrick, and that was to come in, to learn the offense, and to not go out there and play until you have a firm mental grasp of what you want to accomplish. All the physical tools are there. He's one of the best players I've ever seen, and but you don't want to throw them out there too soon. You want them to really be who they are and not have to process too much, just play, right? So Coach had a vision, and we brought him along slowly, and you know, we're excited for him and for the future. Yeah, well, I mean, you've seen other teams and other younger quarterbacks step right in and play. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to that. I think it's just the philosophy that we had and that we believe in, and that's kind of what we stuck with.
First game of the season with Pat Mahomes, your starting quarterback, change from last year with Alex Smith. How does that affect your offseason player acquisition and kind of rearranging your line?
Yeah, no, I think what you do is you find out where your strengths and weaknesses are, and you build around certain attributes players have. So, you know, Pat's skill set's maybe a little bit different than Alex's. The players that you surround him with maybe work more to his skill set. But again, he's an exciting player, has a long way to go, but I think it'll be fun to surround him with a lot of talent moving forward.
A couple of people guessed that Matt Nagy might be aggressive as a coach, as a play caller, and you've known him for a long time. Do you agree with it? Yeah. So what his personality?
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with that, and I smile when you talk about Matt. I mean, it's one of my best friends. Went to school together, and just to watch him grow and develop as a person, as a coach, I was talking to Alex Smith during the course of the year, and he said one of the things I love about Matt is when he finally got the opportunity to be the coordinator, he didn't change who he was. He was the same person, and he didn't try to impress older players or veteran quarterbacks. He just stepped up there with a lot of confidence, and I think the guys really buy into that. But no, he'll certainly be aggressive and works his tail off.
Davis Winston steps up and throws deep, looking for Evans, and he's in it for a touchdown.
The one full season of the Kansas City Chiefs. Top needs as you look at the draft. They do not have a first-round pick because of the Mahomes trade. Their first selection is 54th overall, a second-round pick. Linebacker, D-line, and wide receiver. We know they need to rework, retool that defense that was aging. The Marcus Peters trade is imminent as well, and they certainly here need a wide receiver opposite Tyreek Hill, who proved he can be a consistent every-down guy, not just a return guy and a gadget guy. But you need some help there. And Jeffrey Chadilla knows that, and Tom Pelissero knows that. I'm Andrew Siciliano. This is Up to the Minute on NFL Network Live from the Combine. Let's try to make sense of the Chiefs here. This is a playoff team that traded their quarterback, even though we knew it was coming, after a career-best season, and then seemingly now traded their best defensive player. What gives?
Billy Otto, five-star Narcheck against the Bloods. We in LA right now. We in LA right now, downtown. We downtown LA. There's a new LA. The new LA. The new LA. The new LA. The new LA. New LA. Talking about. My bro, Billy Otto. Fuck y'all talking about. You already know what it is. We in LA. We in LA. We in LA right now. Pop out. We in LA. Pop out. We in Florida. We in LA. What y'all say? Fuck LA. Billy Otto, five-star Narcheck against the Bloods. We in LA right now. We in LA right now, downtown. We downtown LA. There's a new LA. The new LA. The new LA. The new LA. New LA. Talking about. Talking about. My bro, Billy Otto. Fuck y'all talking about. You already know what it is. We in LA. We in LA. We in LA right now. Pop out. We in LA. Pop out. We in Florida. We in LA. What y'all say?
But let's not forget the defensive side of the football here. It's like offense is sexy. This team was horrible on defense, and as you just said, they traded Marcus Peters, their best defensive player. Yes, they got Eric Berry back, but they didn't stop the run last year, and they had all kinds of problems defending people at the cornerback spot. They have to fix a lot of things.
They were the 28th total defense, and even with Marcus, yes, he's a turnover machine. 19 in 3 seasons. They were 29th against the Rams.
And even though they had Marcus Peters, they still had to go out and get Darrelle Revis late in the season to come in. So they're absolutely still going to
shout out to our Rams and girls. Congratulations for making
it in the trade with Washington after signing David Anderson. Also, don't overlook the pass rush for that team. They did not have a double-digit sack guy last year. They still do have Justin Houston. On the other side, there's been some question about Dee Ford. He's coming off of a back injury. I am told Dee Ford will be on the Chiefs. He has an $8.7 million option on his contract, but because of that injury, he's not going to be able to pass a physical before that contract becomes guaranteed in a couple of weeks. They are going to use Dee Ford, and he was a double-digit sack guy 2 years ago.
All right, Jeffrey, earlier you said the Chargers weren't going to be a Super Bowl.
I'm the type of motherfucker that got it.
10 wins, 50 for Alex over 5 years. Is that
to the next level?
With
the Fadded regulation.
Again this year under Patrick Mahomes.
I think it's going to be tough just because of the way the defense is shaping up right now. They're going to have to make a lot of moves to fix what was already a broken defense. And I think they're preparing for the very real possibility of having to be 8, 7, 9, and being much better a year from now. I don't know if this is on defense for me to buy into them right now.
And remember, they traded that number 1, and it appears as if they are getting a number 2 back in the Marcus Peters deal, but that won't be this year. That will be next year.
There's some speed receivers out there in free agency, guys who have been, for one reason or another, nicked up. Paul Richardson. Richardson would be one, Marquise Lee. Yeah, that with a Tyreek Hill, Spencer Ware's back to take some of the wear and tear off of Kareem Hunt. They do have weapons on the opposite side of the ball, to say nothing to Travis Kelce, who, of course, is one of the best playmakers in the whole league. Defense is going to be the question. They still need some parts. You got to build around guys like Chris Jones, Eric Berry, who's still a relatively young player at this point, still in ascending, or at least at his peak type of a player. You got some parts, but they also know they got some holes.
Offense was never the problem for this team.
I'm glad you mentioned Spencer Ware. A lot of people forgot him. Remember, Kareem Hunt stepped in when Spencer Ware got injured. You saw what Kareem Hunt did after the fumble. Unfortunate, considering he never put the ball on the ground at Toledo. He fumbled early, first possession, first touch, week 1 in Foxborough, and then racked up like 250-something total yards and 3 touchdowns, and that offense started rolling. Again, it's the defense here that needs some fixing. Moving ahead here on up to the minute. Deshaun Watson turned some heads last year. Someone also traded a future first-round pick to move up and get him. We'll hear from his head coach, Bill O'Brien, straight around the corner on up to the minute.
Yeah, actually, hey, Grandma, let me put you on speakerphone, okay?
Carry out large 3-topping pizzas from Domino's for $7.99 each. And with Domino's new carry-out insurance, we'll replace your pizza if it gets ruined after you leave the store. Just bring it back and we'll remake it for free.
Discover Card customer service? Man, this isn't a computer. Wait, you're real? With Discover Card, you can talk to a real person in the U.S. like me, anytime. Wow, this is a recording. Really? No, I'm kidding.
100% U.S.-based customer service. Here to help, not to sell. I've seen them all. Big, small, wide, slim. Which is why at Men's Warehouse, we create the perfect fit. Now through Sunday, it's buy one, get one free on select items. Plus, take an additional 40% off clearance. It's time to like the way you look.
Can we finish what we started? Do we have it in us? Because the second we think we've given everything, we're gonna give more. Because this is our moment, and we are made for this. Whatever you're made for, Gatorade is made to fuel. Seen it, covered it. We know a thing or two.
Just living the life, yes sir. Al Bundy style, yes sir. Just chilling.
Hey Ricky, do you know why anyone would steal a large patch of turf?
No idea.
We are farmers.
It's not that funny.
It's 6 a.m. 40 million Americans are waking up to a Gillette shave. And at our factory in Boston, more than 1,000 workers are starting their day building on over 100 years of heritage, craftsmanship, and innovation. Today, we're bringing you America's #1 shave at lower prices every day, putting money back in the pockets of millions of Americans. As one of those workers, I'm proud to bring you Gillette quality for less, because nobody can beat the men and women of Gillette. Gillette, the best of men.
J'ai encore en mémoire le parfum de l'homme que j'ai rencontré. Il portait Old Spice. J'ai nommé mon chien Old Spice. Janine, Old Spice! Laisse ce poulet tranquille!
It made sense. For men.
While our most visionary models can be simulated, nothing compares to the real thing. Experience the Command Performance sales event for yourself, now through April 2nd.
Just hit me up. Someone just hit me up. What up, Rocco? Nice place. Did do my paper for my nigga. What you talking about, man? What up, Dro? Chilling. I'm on broadcasting.
When Deshaun Watson got injured between weeks 8 and 9 last year,
Nah, just watching TV.
Overwhelming. The sports world just crushed, showed you the impact that this guy had, not only on his team, but on the NFL last year. He is well on his way back.
Oh, in the bed, I gotta leave to go get my daughter.
ACL.
Hit the gas and got flames out the rear. It's a race to the back of the.
You know, I believe he's ahead of schedule from what I see, what I hear. You know, I think he's doing real well. He's been through this before, unfortunately. He knows what the rehab process is, and I think he's doing a really good job.
They're not really showing the combine. They're just like a lot of press conferences and stuff like that.
And he's got a chance to do it
Go for it.
They've been showing a little bit of the bench pressing, but mostly it's been the conference.
We're looking at our roster. We're talking to a lot of different players. I don't think any decision's been made in that regard. Relative to CJ, I know that Brian and
Facebook every single.
Chris will probably meet with his representative and him at some point in time. But as far as coaches are concerned right now, CJ's still with us.
Are you ready for the wildest paint set you've ever seen? It's the amazing Rainbow Art Set. Painting has never been this easy or this much fun before. Create amazing drawings and works of art instantly. Perfect rainbow effects in one simple stroke. Now that's magic. As easy as 1, 2, 3. Simply dip, dab, and draw.
Our families, our wives, our friends, our wives went to
Hey guys,
college together.
Lineage 2 is absolutely beautiful.
They're gonna show the combine.
He's a good friend, and he's a heck of a coach. He did a great job this year. So, but I think it's pretty well documented. We worked together at Georgia Tech, and we've known each other a long time.
It does, like the main combine where like they actually doing more than just right now. It's just best bench press, yeah.
Good coach, good communicator.
And it's just that's all they're doing right now.
Every situation's different.
So they're not really showing that.
I think that the type of, like I said, the type of intellectual ability that he has is.
But it's mostly the press conferences. Like all the players are having press conferences.
All right, that's good. This is Mike Vrabel. The encouraging thing is Deshaun Watson seems to be on track to get back ASAP. He was running on the anti-gravity treadmill, I believe, the day after the Super Bowl. So certainly progressing within his rehab. Everything that we heard from Bill O'Brien as well as the new GM, Brian Gaines, has been very positive.
Probably gonna leave and she gets out at 2. It's about to be 1, so I'm probably gonna leave in like 20 minutes. I gotta get ready.
Brian Cushing, they had a lot that they were dealing with. I was speaking with an executive for a different NFL team down here at the Combine. He said when he went back and watched the tape of the Texans offense, he was just amazed at how much Bill O'Brien had done to sort of throw out the Texans' actual playbook, slide in what Deshaun Watson was doing at Clemson, and figure out how they could apply it to being in an NFL offense. It's a blueprint, at least to a degree, for how some other teams will look at some of these other guys who come from various types of spread offenses, may be able to integrate their young quarterbacks sooner than later.
He mentioned Munich. We had Deshaun Watson hanging out in Germany with Bayern Munich and wearing lederhosen over the weekend. We showed you that Monday on Up to the Minute real quick. They have pieces here, and they have holes to fill as well, but they don't have a 1, they don't have a 2. Both those picks are in Cleveland.
Brian Gaines said there's opportunity, though, still, because they got 3 picks in the 3rd round. 3 in the top 100. They think they're going to be able to go out and make some moves, but certainly, yes, they've been left with some holes here. If Deshaun Watson becomes the superstar that they think, they're not going to be complaining about giving up that 1 this year. The 2 to get rid of Brock Osweiler, that's the gift that keeps on giving.
And it's why the Browns and John Dorsey have so much draft capital. Thank you, Tom Pelissero. Hey, it's not just the NFL that is enjoying the Combine. How about the local kids? How about Cardinal River High School on the field?
Yeah, see, they're showing a little bit of the O-line running back and forth and shit.
On their path to college football, potentially. More from Indy after this.
That nigga's soft.
I am the one and only DQ chicken strip basket, now $4.99. I am the 100% all-white meat tenderloin reason you close your eyes when you bite. Country gravy don't normally take to strangers, but sure sugar takes to me. Because I'm not fast food. I am fan food.
At Holiday Inn Express, we can't guarantee that you'll be able to contain yourself at our breakfast bar.
Morning, egg white omelet. Sup, Lady Bacon?
Fruit? There it is. But we can guarantee that you'll be able to
Indeed delivers 6 times more hires. Post a job.
Hello, Internet.
And Indeed will help you zero in on just the right candidates. Plus, there are no upfront costs or one-time contracts.
Nothing has ever been this easy, this simple, and this effective.
Right now, start your first job posting with free premium placement. Search for Greatness. Indeed, the world's
oh, this is comedy.
Causing you to fall behind with the IRS. Increase and penalties quickly piled up. According to Lewis, his tax check was overwhelming.
That's comedy. Oh shit.
Coming after his paycheck, bank accounts, even his home was at risk. Bobby was helped right away. That's when he called us after the tax bill. We stepped in
Wow.
to help stop the IRS from taking collection.
Man, he didn't ask me for money.
Bob's tax debt for a non-lethal approach. You see, we're the experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, a special IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, we've resolved over $500 million in tax debts for our clients. Take the first step towards resolving your IRS problem.
By the way, you guys suck for letting a homeless man. He didn't even ask me for food. You guys suck.
5606. That's 1-800.
You guys suck.
5606.
I'll never be back here. You guys suck.
Movement is back.
He didn't even ask me for food. I brought him from outside. You guys suck for giving him a trash can. Yes, you did. You suck.
Upload your 40 with hashtags #RichRun and St. Jude to give all kids a chance to play.
This is how I talk. I talk loud. If the officer has a problem with that, the officer's gonna arrest me. I'm not being disorderly. The guy he didn't ask me for food. And I saw him across the street and I brought him over here and gave him food.
Okay, we're here because apparently
I need some serious internet.
Gas fees for 10 meg.
Oh my god. So what?
What's going on is you suck. You suck. Yeah, I brought him over. As soon as they saw him, no, he's not getting food. He's not getting food. I paid for his food. He's getting food.
But sure. It's good.
That's jacked up, bro. They're making a big deal because homeboy bought some homeless guy of food. Someone called the cops because the guy brought a homeless guy into McDonald's and bought him food. So they were complaining that he's been asking people for money.
A protein snack made with 100% beef, and you run with Sasquatch? Or you run from Sasquatch?
Yeah, let the, and the cop's just right there, like while he's eating. Like, just let the nigga eat, bro. Like, what's the problem? Like, oh, you know, even if you got a job to do, it's your job. Like, sit outside and just wait. Like, okay, you're done eating. I'm gonna need you to come outside. You know what I'm saying? Like,
From right here, bring him to eat, bring him inside. As soon as they see him, they tell him
on NFL Network. Will Baker Mayfield or any of the quarterbacks that we're going to see throw on Saturday like Josh Rosen? Are they in the question at number one? We'll hear from the Browns general manager, John Dorsey, straight ahead here. On up to the minute from Indianapolis.
Can I finish my food? Can I get a refund for my food? Can I get a refund for my food?
NFL Total Access. Combine Countdown. 1 day to the drills. The science of finding a franchise quarterback. The best mix for Josh Rosen and Josh Allen. And
that's scandalous.
Number 1. Tonight, 70.
Damn, and the cop's cute too. Damn, why you gotta be like that?
Can I get his name, please?
Know my name.
Can I get your name, please?
NFL Network.
Can I get your name, please?
Barry Sanders is one of the greatest running backs in football history. When it came to talking defenders,
I'm getting kicked out of here because I gave a homeless guy food, by the way, guys. Just so you know, I gave a homeless guy food. They're kicking me out. Yes, because you need to kick him out. No, because I'm being loud, because I'm telling you what you did was wrong. Yeah, I'll probably end up going to jail. That's what's going to happen.
I'm not going to go to jail. I'm asking you nicely.
Yeah, I want to sit here and finish my food. So then I want a refund.
You don't have that.
But when I was...
Listen, I'm not here to argue with you. I am the law, okay? You need to get your stuff and leave. That is all, okay? You want a refund, you got to go to corporate. I am not corporate. I am here to tell you, get your stuff and leave.
She's fucking cute though, bro. She's like Jennifer Lopez fucking cute. Like, golly. Yeah, she's fucking hot, bro. I can't even. This. Yeah, it's on Facebook. This is not even has nothing to do with her, but damn, she's just damn cute. Like, the guy's getting loud because they called trespassing on the bum because he brought him in to eat some food to pay for his food. And so he's damn, she's cute.
You guys suck, though. food somewhere else. Come on, let's go.
I don't know how long it was. Yeah, about 5 minutes, yeah.
Definitely a woman. No synth, no big drums.
Look at this fucking McLaren.
Whatever you want.
Man.
Why not get
Fucking sick.
Get a la carte
Yes, it's not
for Slim. Starting $20, then pick your personal channel lineup. Great people set your company apart. HR's job is to help those great people do amazing things, which is Namely, the HR platform employees love to use. Namely streamlines benefits, payroll, and time management across the entire company so you can focus on building a better workplace for everyone every day. Schedule a free demo today at namely.com. Namely, HR for humans.
We are here in Indianapolis. That is Lucas Oil Stadium. The drills begin tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the field, exclusively on NFL Network. But before then, there's a lot of news. This is Up to the Minute on the road in Indy. What are the Browns going to do at number 1? And might they actually trade that pick? And should you believe anything that any GM or coach tells you this week? We'll try to answer those questions in this next hour of Up to the Minute on the road in Indianapolis. I'm Andrew Siciliano. Thanks so much for being here. We have a lot to get to today, including former first overall pick and a man now with a gold jacket, Orlando Pace. He's mentoring some of these young offensive linemen. He joins us on this set coming up shortly. First, however, let's get to some headlines today as the offensive linemen, in advance of their work on the field tomorrow, are on the bench press today. And how about Quentin Nelson?
Quentin Nelson, 35 reps, bro.
As his number 1 guard on the board out of Notre Dame, 35 reps.
Yeah.
That's unofficial, but 35 matches the best total last year from any guy at any position, Isaac Asiata. And what if I told you that Quentin Nelson wasn't the only guy that was able to throw up 225 35 times? Braden Smith, another O-lineman from Auburn, also did 35 reps. So right now, they are the clubhouse leaders, and that is the number to beat on the bench press. Please, however, do not try this at home. Please be safe. John Dorsey has the 1, he has the 4, the 1st and the 4th overall picks on the night of April 26th. And everybody assumes that he is going to take the quarterback. However, he said today that he is open to trading. He actually said, guys, give me a call.
Browns GM John Dorsey open to trading number 1 overall pick.
Yes, history of trading.
Wow.
Kansas City.
Wow.
So there is not going to be a franchise
wow.
Cousins in some effort to try to get something for the quarterback as he is set to hit free agency. Doug Williams said that is not going to happen. And Jay Gruden echoed those sentiments today.
We played this tag game for a couple of years now, it seems like, and I think it's time to get some stability at our position, at the most important position of sports, and that's quarterback. And it's very important for us to move forward and let Kirk move on. If Washington's not a place he wanted to be, it's time for us to move on, get some continuity there at quarterback.
Time to move on, but now as we turn to Ian Rappaport, our NFL Network insider, where would the best fit be, Ian? Because when you were up here on this set earlier, we talked about the fact that the most money might not, for Kirk Cousins, equal the best fits.
Right, and Andrew, when you look at what the money is probably going to be, it's likely,
yeah.
from my understanding, the Jets will probably be able to pay the most for Kirk Cousins, but you're talking about $1 million here, $1 million there. It's not like one team's going to offer $30 a year, another team is going to offer $20, and he'll have to make that decision. It's really just, where can Kirk Cousins go where he has the best chance to succeed, best chance to win, and best chance to be their quarterback for the rest of his career. Played year to year for the last couple years, clearly ready to have some more security. And you can have a team like the Jets, who are going to be very interested. The Vikings, who really are in a Super Bowl window now. It's pretty clear, just a quarterback away. The Denver Broncos, another team that would surround Kirk Cousins with a really strong support staff. But do not sleep on the Arizona Cardinals. They're going to be aggressive. Certainly they are willing to pay for a quarterback like Kirk Cousins, and they are not a team to be dismissed.
Let's go back to the Vikings, Ian, because also in that conversation we had before, we brought up the fact that Rick Spielman is drafted well, and you have to pay those guys. One blemish, though, on that draft record, at least so far, Laquan Treadwell, who really hasn't done much, the first-round pick wide receiver out of Ole Miss. What's his story?
Well, he has a murky status on the roster. It was interesting, Andrew, listening to the comments from head coach Mike Zimmer about Treadwell, basically talking about that he's had his chances. He essentially can't get out of his own way and really needs to find his footing now as an NFL receiver to stick with this team. Rick Spielman, the general manager, was a little more even-handed on this, but look, they have a couple of star receivers on their team. They have obviously Thielen. We've saw that, Andrew, they have a spot for a number one legitimate receiver, but Treadwell has just never risen to that level, and it's pretty clear now that he is not guaranteed to be on this.
Proud father snaps picture of son receiving an award from his teacher. You seen that?
Only 21 receptions.
It's a picture. It sounds like probably in like the 3rd or 4th grade, and he's halfway in the picture, and the teacher's the whole thing. Yeah.
What's this? That's not a real. Come on, that's not real.
It's yep. Come on, you can do it's real. It's real.
All right, bud, I got you.
Yep.
Ian, it's not real, and it's not close to spectacular, man. That's awful. Yeah. How many was that? Like 4 or 5? Yeah.
I did 225. That was legit, by the way. I need a little help at the end, Andrew, but I think everyone needs a spotter. I think that's okay.
Where'd you find those spotters?
In the Colts facility. That's where they have the cheerleaders.
Ian Rappaport, the first member of the media brave enough to bench, although I do have to question the legitimacy of that bar.
No, it's real.
I'm going to guess the bar existed, but those are not real 45-pound plates.
There was a dumbbell involved.
Oh, there was a dumbbell. Yes. Hey, you know what, Ian? I think Mike Silver summed it up off camera well just now. There was a...
Please don't do coke in our bathroom.
Okay, moving on. Thank you, Ian Rappaport. Let's move on to something substantive. Somebody who actually could bench a lot. He is a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He has a very large jacket. All right, Orlando Pace was the first overall selection in the 1997 NFL Draft for the then St. Louis Rams. He has won a Super Bowl. He has a bust in Canton, Ohio, and he joins us live here on set on Up to the Minute in Indianapolis. Do you remember, Orlando, how many times you benched 225?
Wow, I was just having that conversation over there with Mac Starks, and I believe it was 24 times.
What the heck? What are you about to do?
Probably 10, I would imagine. If that, then that's a stretch right there.
Well, I appreciate it.
If you had to, you'd probably get to 15.
Probably so.
I appreciate the fact that you're here. I don't like to sit next to Silver. I'm kidding, of course. But if there was ever a way to get a barrier, it is one of the biggest and the best offensive linemen in the history of the National Football League.
I have no swim move anyway. So.
This is Quentin Nelson from earlier who put up 35. I mean, these guys train for this now.
Yeah, they do, and it's all about endurance. A lot of times you can't train for 35 reps of 225.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
So I'm sure he and his strength coach, and they work their way up to that. But that kid's naturally strong.
Yeah,
so.
He's a beast. You're with the Legends community here, helping out these guys on their path to the draft. Tell me about what you're doing.
Well, we're just mentoring. Obviously, I've been through this process, and these kids come into this process not really knowing what to expect. So interviewing, it's probably the biggest interview of their life thus far. So to be here and give them some insight, give them some mentoring, things to look forward to, things to look out for, and just help them along their way.
I mean, I think the draft, a lot of times its impact is overstated, but I think back to your draft, it's great. You had a guy who was taken first overall in a position we all say is the most important, but then don't really, we pay a lot of lip service to that. He not only delivered, but, was better than anyone could have imagined. But what was it like to go from, a team that was one of the worst in the league, and then you sign a quarterback, Trent Green, he goes down in training camp, and not only get good, but become one of the best offenses of all time and win a Super Bowl.
Sit your motherfucking ass down. Fuck off me, motherfucker. Sit your motherfucking your ass about me.
When I was a rookie, I don't even think I interviewed with St. Louis. And they, a couple weeks before
Get your dumb ass out of motherfucking food.
I can't remember having a conversation. Maybe we stopped and just said, hey, because they were picking.
Well, Dick would have cried. Dick would have cried.
But yeah, I know, a couple weeks they made that trade with the Jets, and then they moved up to number 1. And then I took my visit. So obviously, when you drafted that high, the team's really not that good. So you don't know what to expect going into it. But a lot of losses. And those first couple years, you might have won 7 games in 2 years. And then that third year, with Coach Jamil, obviously, with the greatest show on turf and winning that championship, it was a remarkable feeling. So.
And I didn't see you get beat much, but was there a moment in your rookie year where you went up against someone and kind of went, whoa, this is the NFL?
Well, yeah, you don't know, because every week, and in college you may have some off weeks, but in the pros, every single week, those guys are coming after you. And I was like, wow, the speed of the game, the technique of the game, physically you couldn't dominate guys the way you could in college. So you had to be prepared week in and week out for those defensive ends.
What do you tell these kids? You said it's a job interview. Clearly, a lot of them have already gone through the Senior Bowl or the East-West Shrine game. They've had personal trainers. They're all getting ready for this. And then, bam, they're on a stage. What's your advice?
Wow, just be honest and be yourself. I think the ball clubs do such a great job of scrubbing your social media, doing all these great things to figure out who you are as a kid. Just be honest, because they already know 90% of the stuff you're trying to hide anyway. So just go out and be yourself. They know from film study what type of player you are. They just want to get to know the person, the player.
You going to Canton this year for the annual induction? Because I don't know if you heard, but a couple of polarizing figures are going in. Is this going to be like one of the more interesting Hall of Fame weekends?
I think so. I think they may have to start it a little early. I think some of those speeches are going to be long. They'll be out there at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I think we were last year.
Exactly, because I think a lot of those guys have a story to tell, and I can't wait because I think I love to hear the stories and the journeys. But I'm sure there are going to be some interesting speeches this year.
I'll bet.
Yeah, has the title Hall of Famer Orlando Pace sunk in yet? It's been a couple of years.
Yeah. It has been a couple of years, and I don't think it really sunk. Sometimes I still have to pinch myself, or they give us a replica bus at home, so I have to look at that just to remind myself how special of a group that is.
Where is that in your house?
It's in the hallway, and my kids, they decorated for Christmas.
Did they ever put a Santa hat on it?
They love it, man. So
it's a pretty good bus. They did a nice job there.
They did a really good job.
Sometimes I look at it and I go, I'm not so sure.
And then my family, they're tired of me wearing my gold jacket. They're like, will you take that thing off?
What size is that jacket?
I'm normally a 54 extra long. That's kind of
same as yours.
Right. For me, that's called a bedspread. That's a comforter, actually, at my house.
In fairness, we were calling him future Hall of Famer Orlando Pace like in 2005. So it's all we did is take a word off the title.
Absolutely.
Last thing, the pressure of being number 1. In all likelihood, this year it's a quarterback. It might be a running back, but it's likely a quarterback, which I know it's a different set of pressures than what an offensive lineman felt. But regardless, I mean, every eye is on you.
Absolutely. And when I was drafted in '97, number 1 in the St. Louis Rams, going there, expectations. Fans they didn't get hey, he's a left tackle. He's not going to change our franchise that much. Everybody's looking for that quarterback to really, bring that change to court. So, obviously all eyes, and it worked out in a couple of years. You want to see the ball. So
that very moment, your quarterback was stocking shelves on the bench.
Yes.
It's Cedar Falls, which tells you all you need to know. The draft can be transformational in this case, but then the quarterback can end up being the guy.
Exactly. I want to do something. So Orlando and I visited many years ago in St. Louis. Did a summer worth of Rams preseason games. Just somewhere in my phone. Thanks for being on the picture. And there's a picture of you and me in the post game. Totally stand up. You are sitting on the desk in our room. I am standing up on 2 feet. You are still much taller than me. So can we do this? Can we, because LA has said what they want to do? Can we do the circus act and stand up here? Will you do this? I am more than willing to embarrass myself. What I tell you, you get my super in here for comparison. How tall are you?
6'8".
Okay. So this is kind of like a vaudeville act.
I've never felt such a short 6'2". I mean, that's not good.
I stood next to Calais Campbell at an event Saturday in Kansas City, and it didn't feel like this. He's 6'7". So thanks for helping embarrass me. To the draft. Like, maybe one of these quarterbacks who could be the number one pick.
That's smart. Barbershop wears scary masks so the kids can't stop looking at him. That's tight.
Meet Dusty. My days. Have you been out? I love it.
Yeah.
You know, I see a lot of high schoolers, middle schoolers, even elementary schoolers, if they're not supposed to be watching.
Nah, probably till Monday at latest.
I've been seeing a lot of school shootings happening, and it's never the school shooter never looks.
Huh? It'll get done sooner or later. Yeah, it can be. That's definitely not a real robot.
But cast aside, it's something left to prove. How do you not want to show your former team you still can play?
Brett Favre, A Football Life, tonight at 9, only on NFL Network.
Your friend orders a Friday sirloin steak and big ribs. You one-up him with the steak, but add a steak. Figuring steak and steak trumps ribs and steak. But does it?
15 combinations, steak, ribs, shrimp, and more. 2 meats, 2 sides, $14.99.
In life, you either
start getting ready.
snack made with 100% beef and you run with Sasquatch.
Alright, I'll be back on. Let me go get ready and then get my little baby from school. She's been waiting for me to get her from school. I was supposed to get her yesterday, but freaking couldn't get the keys to my car. I'll hit y'all up later.